Hello everyone, it's nice to speak to you face to face again. It's been a while since I've done this. Right off the bat, I want to apologize for the terrible audio quality that you're noticing in this video. What happened is my computer broke, and so I'm in the process of replacing all of my equipment, hopefully with a bunch of upgrades. But for now, the way I'm having to make this is I'm using the built-in webcam on my laptop, and then I put my gaming headset on top of a bunch of toilet rolls that I've stacked on my table, and that's my microphone. So it's very low tech. There are ambulances driving past all the time and everything. It is Japan, so everybody's super old, and you have a dead neighbor about every 2 hours. But hopefully, it's enjoyable enough that I can make an interesting video. I want to talk about Zafina and her new claw hand in this one. It's a new cool mechanic for her that we saw in the trailer. I talked about the moves I recognize from the older games in the last video, but the claw is new, so I've taken a closer look at that, and now I think I have a sort of gut feeling for what it's actually going to be in game. It's conjecture, but I'm going to explain what I mean and show you a couple of examples. Before we get to that, I just want to briefly touch on a different topic. There was that weird little Snake leak at EVO where people thought that Snake was being, revealed as a guest character for the game. And it turns out that's not the case. And the reason I say that is I had a bunch of tweets sent to me by a friend that Harada made to the sort of Japanese Tekken audience, explaining the situation in his own words. And I thought I'd just read the beginning of the first one to you. It says,国内向きにも説明しておくと、EVO 決勝の休憩時間に会場内向け映像で MGS のスネークと私が、会話する数秒の謎映像が流れました。これを受けて、バンナム、からは EVO 側にも抗議し、EVO 側が勝手に作った映像であることも、が判明しました。So what that means is like there was a weird little video where I was talking to Snake in the interlude at EVO. Namco protested about it to EVO. Turns out it's something they made on their own without the permission of anybody who actually has the power to put Snake in the game. And he goes on to apologize to Hideo Kojima and Konami. So it's honestly a little bit of a hairy situation, and nobody seems happy about it. So we can be pretty much completely sure that this is not a leak for Snake in this game, which you can be, sad or happy about. I kind of don't really care. I think he would have been a pretty cool fit, and I wouldn't have minded it. I like those games, but I'm not sort of interested in the politics of the whole thing. I just wanted to know whether or not it was a real reveal for a character, and it turns out that it is not. But let's move on and talk about Zafina. I want to start with this move right here, actually, which is the move they used to reveal the claw thing in the trailer. And I thought it was really clever because there were a lot of people who wanted Zafina in the game and a lot of people who didn't. And so they showed her classic moves, and then the music swells and becomes all epic and shit, and she does this attack and does the claw thing, and everybody's like, wow, okay, she's changed. And I think it won a lot of people over, and some players who were not excited about Zafina became excited about Zafina. So it's a really clever thing they did. But this move right here is called the Cursed Crow. It's something she used to have in the older games. It's kind of like a bird thing. And it was like a long-range counter-hit launcher, as I recall. I think 18 frames to impact. And it caused a crumple stun launcher on counter-hit. Now, Claudio is not attacking when it connects here, so it doesn't look like a counter hit, but I think it is. I think what is happening is they have manual counter hit on, and when this move counter hits now, she's going to crouch back, activate the claw, and then go through like in the trailer. And it's just going to be a property of that attack. The reason I say that is if you look at Zafina's character model, she doesn't have anything that seems to indicate that she has access to the claw. Kind of like how Claudio's arm glows when he has access to Starburst. And that's important because it lets the players know that Claudio has Starburst. It's important information that they integrated into the character model rather than putting it somewhere on the screen, in the user interface. And I think that's the much better way to do it. And because there's nothing on Zafina that seems to indicate that the claw is active, so to speak, I think it's just something that happens in her moves, in the animations when she counter hits, or when she just does a claw move. She probably has a couple, and I don't think it's going to be, something that is mechanical, more something that is just, a presentation thing, an aesthetic choice for some of her new moves and some of her new attacks and their properties. And we're going to move on to a different move here. This is a really interesting one. It's kind of like her reversal, and there's an analog for this move already in the game that I want to talk about. But what happened in the trailer is she activates the hand. Claudio attacks into it with his counter hit, and then it eats that hit. It armors through it. He gets stunned, kind of like an electrical stun sort of thing, and then she, attacks back, reverses, and it looks a lot like the thing that Kazumi has access to, where she does the exact same thing, and then the tiger comes down and does the roll. That move was buffed recently, has become a lot stronger, and it's a lot of fun to use. It's actually quite good now, and on the rare occasion that I still play Kazumi, I have a lot of fun with it, so I'm excited about this. But it seems like it's going to be something like that, or kind of like, Gigas, he has the thing where he growls and armor, so you attack into it. If you attack into the, correct active window, you get stunned, and then she gets a free hit, presumably with high damage. The reason I think the claw is going to be really high damage is, in the case of the Cursed Crow, the claw attack seems to replace an entire counter hit launcher, and so it would make sense for it to do really high, almost even full combo damage. Well, it's going to depend on, how they balance it, but I think it would make sense for the claw attacks to be the standout high-powered moves of the character. It doesn't seem to be a launcher. This one is more like a knockdown, but it looks good. It looks fun, and I'm looking forward to using it. Moving on, we saw her Rage Drive, and we didn't really get a lot of information there. She does an attack with one hand, and then she does the claw with the other. And the only interesting thing you can see is that Claudio looks like he's being launched here. It looks like a stun launcher. And if it's in line with the other Rage Drives in the game, what it's probably going to be is like a safe mid, launches on hit, and if it gets blocked, you're safe, or maybe even get plus frames. And that's the way Rage Drives are typically designed to work. Less risky than the Rage Art. Usually lands you at an advantage even on block, and then gives you something really powerful on hit. So that's my guess. And then the final move I want to show here is the Rage Art. I had a couple of comments asking whether or not I think this is a high. And you can tell it kind of looks like a high. Claudio is crumpled here, so he looks shorter than he actually is. But it is a very high hitbox. If it is a high hitbox mid, then I'll be sad, because then it might be shitty, kind of like Elisa's. But if it is a high, that might be very interesting, because when a Rage Art is high in this game, Namco have to make up for that by making it mechanically interesting in some other way. So Anna, for example, has a very fast one that she can use for a punish. She can get a guaranteed setup into it. Elisa, she has a duckable one, but it is safe and has that weird extended hitbox, with the chainsaw out. And so I hope it's high, because then it's probably going to have something that is, more interesting than the typical armored mid that most characters get access to. So overall, with the claw, my guess is that it's just going to be something that happens during her move animations that gives her extra damage. Maybe when she counter hits with certain moves, it comes out and she gets, guaranteed follow-up hit. And I don't think it's going to be something that has an interface or something on the screen to indicate it. I think it's just, a visual direction they've taken the character on a superficial level. But it's obviously very, very cool, and it means that we have a lot of new interesting moves to play with. And so this might be the first thing I want to look at when the character comes out. Into practice mode, play around with the move list, and find all the weird claw things, attempting to, understand exactly what it is it's going to do. But that's going to wrap up this little video. I hope it was interesting enough. This channel has seen insane support in the last few days. There's obviously a lot of excitement going on in the world of Tekken right now. Very understandable. I'm very excited myself, and I'm having a lot of fun thinking about this stuff, as you can tell. But sorry for the potato quality. Thank you so much for watching this one, and I'll see you guys again very soon.